weil eine Rallye ist. Es geht los.
Yep, sure. So hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the live TeaTime with the Dev Session. My name is The Scrub, I'm PS's sound designer. Tonight we're going to be talking about a few new additions to the game, including our new map Vagel, the bayonet system, the new vehicle damage models.
Fängt schon mal gut an, wenn der Sounddesigner schlechten Ton hat.
We'll also be discussing the state of the post-scriptum modding SDK, and then at the end, as usual, we'll be hosting a quick Q&A with the audience and finish with a few points about the PS going into the future.
So
to begin with, let's take a look at the new map, which is called Vagel, that you can see on screen.
Neue Karte
this is
wird
a new
vorgestellt.
map incoming for the recently added US Airborne faction. You should be seeing that on screen now with Bray as...
Yeah, I'm around. We are looking now at the main screen.
Yay.
Do you guys also hear Scrub with a bit of lag in the voice, or is it just me, just so we know?
No, I hear it as well. It's like crackling almost.
It's crackling, okay. Good. The sound the sound guy is having sound issues. So we will get started with the showing Vagel, like you said, and as you guys can see now, we are on the main menu. So this is the brand new map, was made by Raikane. Raikane, you are here today.
Hello.
So here I'm gonna join the 101st Airborne. Of course, this is the brand new faction. So let's make it clear what's the difference between the 82nd and the 101st Airborne. In PS is only the patch on your left shoulder. So that's the only difference. You have the same kit, same restrictions, same ammo
Die
count,
101. und die
everything.
82.
You are
unterscheiden sich
just
nur
playing
unter
in the
dem
right location
Schulter
where the 101st Airborne was
Abzeichen.
in September 1944. So let's join the Airborne.
Und man
So
sollte
that's the
berücksichtigen,
minimap of
dass sie die
Vagel.
101. Airborne als
Raikane can
Faction
confirm it's a 3
bezeichnen.
by 3 kilometer map.
Yeah, it's 3 by 3 kilometer with the Waffen SS.
Bezüglich
and
den
the
neuen...
Okay, so you have right now we are in
Passt es vom
AAS.
Ton her?
So as you guys know, AAS is
Oder
the
bin
new
ich zu
game
laut
when
oder
we
die zu
added
leise?
to PS, I think a couple of months ago. So here we have to capture those flags, fight in the middle, and as soon as you manage to push, you deplete the enemy tickets. So we are going to respawn at the main. I'm going to create an infantry section, but
Alles gut,
I
super.
am going to switch to my trusty Garand. I know, Scrub, you love the Thompson. Personally, I play the Garand anytime I can, at least.
Okay, das ist halt die neue
Scrub, are
Karte.
you back? Is your
Sie
microphone
zeigen jetzt den
fixed?
AAS-Modus, den sie ja vor kurzem schon
he's
gezeigt
muted, I
haben.
think.
He's muted.
Also
Okay,
nichts
so
Besonderes
we will,
da,
do without him, at least
außer halt die
locally.
neue Karte.
So yeah, let's go.
Das ist gut, wenn du weiter übersetzt, brauche ich die hier nicht hören. Ja, das ist der Plan.
There
Nur
you
den
go.
Chat habe ich
Alright,
jetzt
so let
unten
me show you
ausgeblendet,
your
weil rechts
trusty
ja sowieso schon einer
Screaming
ist.
Eagle or Screaming Chicken. So, this is the main base.
zwei
As you
Daimler.
can see, we have
Interessant.
the usual Austin K5 truck, because this is still a British
4
operation.
Panzer! Yep, habe ich auch gesehen.
US forces joined, but on the ground, at least the 30 Corps was here. As you can see, we have little insignia of the 30 Corps here. We have a couple of Daimler car.
Und
and
zwei
we
Fireflies.
have Our brand
Nein,
new Sherman
zwei Shermans.
M4A3. That's
Das ist
one
der neue
of
Panzer.
the 2 new vehicles we added in the game.
Ein ganz stinknormaler Sherman.
Climb on it. We will drive it later today, because right now, as you know,
Die tun mir jetzt schon leid.
I've joined the NCO, the infantry section. I cannot really get into the tank. So let's get started. You guys
M4A3.
wanna
Das ist der ganz
run toward
stinknormale.
the
Achso, ich kann
objective
jetzt nicht
of Vagel
raustappen.
while we chat about what's new and what not? Ooh. What do you have on your rifle?
I have a stabby thing.
Stubby. Nice.
Can you guys hear me properly now?
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
4 Panzer
Okay, so we're gonna
und Bayonette.
gently walk toward the first objective and show you the new things that we have in PS. So, Cameron,
jetzt
do you want
zeigen
to
sie uns
take
die neuen
over
Sachen.
and tell us the first thing we're going to discuss tonight? Or today?
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me now?
Yes. Perfect.
Okay, cool. Well, on the list, aside from Vagel, obviously, as you just saw, we saw the bayonet system. So do you want to show some of that off?
Okay, so I'm gonna mount my bayonet. So the key right now is the same key
Hätte ich auch mal
as
sagen
deploying
können,
the
dass ich die
bipod
Maus
if
mitten
you
auf dem
have
Monitor
the AR or an MG42. So I press C.
So,
and
das
there you
Bajonett
go.
pflanzt
Now
man
I
auf
have
mit C.
my Stabby on the rifle. So that's
Ja, ich denke
good.
auch.
But as you can imagine, if you've seen Band of Brother, you know that Bull said you will never shoot straight with that thing on your barrel. or I'm not sure exactly how he says it, but it's something along those
So,
lines.
das
So what
Bajonett
is
soll auch
happening now in
Auswirkungen
PS is
auf
if
die
you have a
Genauigkeit der
bayonet
Waffe
and
haben?
you aim down, the accuracy of the rifle is of course the same because it's still a bullet going through a barrel, but the sway, the motion you
Also
have in
dieses
your rifle is
Waffenschwenken,
slightly increased.
das ist ein bisschen
let's
erhöht,
say the
während das
default value
Bajonett
is
dran ist,
1.05.
als
With the
Nachteil,
bayonet, it's going to be
wenn man das Bajonett dran
1.15,
hat.
so it's slightly more swayed. Not a crazy difference, but just a little bit.
Ja, ich weiß, Hauptmann, deswegen habe ich mich ja auch verknippt.
Show you the
Habe ich es ja auch
animation.
sofort
If I
wieder
move
sein
my
gelassen.
bayonet back in the holster. There we go.
Also die Waffe ist nach wie vor genauso genau, nur die Waffe ist halt durch das Bajonett vorne
you can
etwas
see,
schwerer und
for
dadurch
some of you
schwenkt
guys,
die halt
history
etwas
buff,
mehr.
Vegel is the main road. I'm just going to open the minimap here, and so you can see my cursor. You can see that road, that red road, that going through Vegel and all the way out here, and all the way to
So,
Nijmegen
Geschichtsstunde,
Bridge.
worum es bei Wegel ging.
Bit of road here got after the war renamed Hell's Highway, and I'm pretty sure
Das
you
ist
all
der
are
Hell's
familiar
Highway.
with that name, since it was
Deswegen
one of the best brotherly numbers
kommt die mir auch so ein
game
bisschen bekannt vor.
that was made. Even though I like all three of them, but yeah, brotherly numbers number 3 was Hell's Highway, and this is exactly what we are on right now.
Okay, also man kämpft halt hier in der Map um den Hell's Highway,
And,
beziehungsweise versucht den halt zu
King,
sichern.
which one is, we have Vegel and Grav, but Grav is not ready yet. Vegel is south or north, so I don't remember which one is the closest to Arnhem.
It's actually south. Grav is more close to Nijmegen. Yeah.
Okay, that's the thing. So yeah, this is...
Okay, Vegel ist
and
relativ
the
nah
current
dran
first,
an
they
Arnhem.
landed not exactly in Vegel, they landed like outside, but I can't
Yeah.
remember where exactly. I think it's where the main is.
Yeah, just slightly northwest of the main, and also across the canal to the north.
Und die
Okay.
Amis sind halt
So that would explain that
irgendwo da
railroad
gelandet,
bridge
wo er
that we
jetzt
have,
gerade
plus
rumzeigt.
the road
Also
bridge
da,
here. Those were
da in
two
der Gegend
objectives.
sollen die gelandet sein.
Exactly. Yeah, they were the two main, but large objectives they had. That was their aim to take those.
Band of Brothers
So
Flashbacks,
here,
ja.
the classic Normandy field, the classic Holland field about that road that is higher than the banks with the field on the side, so you can get good ambush, a bit like we did on Velmolen with that main road that is way higher than the field, gives you good cover, and you can flank quite easily.
Und
I
das
was
ist
actually
halt
gonna say,
holländischer
to Viking,
Baustil, dass die Straße etwas
in
höher
terms
ist
of
als
the
die
map design,
abflachende
because
Landschaft
we've also got a
daneben.
lot of feedback from the players from design of Velmolen, so that was the first map that came with the US. Do you think some of those design decisions with rubble and set dressing around objectives has kind of been incorporated to Vegel as well? So I guess paying a little bit more attention to like
Und durch das
sightlines,
Feedback,
cover,
was die
and a bit more
Leute
just
oder was die
kind of-
Devs
Yeah, it's
über
what we could
Velmolen
call
bekommen haben,
macro or micro
dadurch machen sie halt
detailing
auch jetzt
because we all know
Ähnliches
that, the
bei
Netherlands
Wegel,
is pretty flat,
indem
that's
es halt
well
mehr
known
Trümmer
for
und
how
Ähnliches
flat
gibt.
it is. But as we learn, as we get better at doing maps, we get all those new assets. As you can see here, we have all the trenches. I mean, you must have recognized
Hier gibt es
those
halt
trenches
deswegen
from
auch schon
Velmolen.
vorgefertigte
We have those
Schützengräben
ditches
mit
as well,
Bunkern
and
und
just gonna go to
Panzersperren und
admin
so.
cam quickly, so I can just show you what I mean without running all the way back. But
Cheater.
yeah, all those new detail that you saw in Velmolen recently, that is how we do map now. So, for instance, Hillsum
mit dem
is
ganzen
the
neuen
first map
Wissen.
we ever made, and that was started like 3 years ago almost now.
Ich
So
habe gar nicht
we
schlecht
didn't have all
geschätzt.
those
Hellsum
cool
war die
models.
erste
We didn't
Map,
have
die sie jemals
the
gemacht
knowledge,
haben.
literally. We didn't have that knowledge
Und durch das
to be
Wissen, was sie
able
sich
to-
jetzt
to accomplish that. But we do have
erarbeitet
that
haben,
knowledge
können
now.
sie halt auch
We've learned
überhaupt
so
dieses
much.
Design der Karten
every map
überhaupt
we do now
angehen.
is, of course, in the same principle or the
Vorher
same
wussten sie noch
concept
gar
as
nicht, wie das
Velmolen
geht.
with
Und jetzt, wo sie das halt wissen,
hide in a ditch
bauen
and,
sie solche
you can see
Details auch
here, you
weiterhin
get, like,
ein.
I know I have to cross that bridge, but at least I can, team up with my section just before the ditch, and then we smoke up, and then we cross the road and cross
Sodass
the
man halt
bridge.
auch ein bisschen Deckung
Let's
hat,
go
wenn
back
man
to my
vorrückt.
trusty character here. There we go.
Exactly. The main concept was just trying to add more cover and more places where you can take cover. And trying to make the
Und was sie halt
maps
auch machen
more
wollen, ist mehr
battle-worn.
Deckungsmöglichkeiten einzubauen.
Yeah, that's one thing, is more battle worn, because yeah, some place got bombed, but at the very beginning
Und
we couldn't
die
afford to
neuen
have so many
Karten
mobs.
sind halt auch
Destroyed,
eher
undestroyed, middle destroyed, or
vom
average
Krieg
destroyed,
gezeichnet.
destroyed.
Dadurch sieht
We
man dann
just
halt
couldn't do that,
Bombenkrater
but we
und
can actually do it
überhaupt die
now. So
Gräben und
you see
ähnliches, weil
here
sie
there
halt
is
da
a
schon eben schon
flag
Schlachten hatten
emplacement.
und auch
There is no flag on
Bomberangriffe
the
hatten.
AAS, but like Velmolen, sometimes you have a flag gun, sometimes you don't. It's extremely, it's random. It's good for replayability, and as the ally, you don't know if something is
Und
going to be here or
manchmal
not. So
in
you have
diesen
to be
Bunkern
careful
ist eine
and
8-8er drin und manchmal
think
eben
about
nicht.
before you rush.
Das ist halt
And here you
zufällig.
see we have like
Wobei
regs
nicht
and we
wirklich
have,
zufällig, sondern layerabhängig, weil wir
water
wissen es ja,
in the
aber,
ditch.
aber
Yeah, so it's
die
feels
Karten sind
more
halt vom
alive,
Krieg
and
bezeichnet.
gameplay-wise, I'm sure everyone noticed that Velmolen plays more dynamically. It's a bit more. It's easier to regroup with your section before you assault.
Ja, aber das
Should
sieht
we
man ja
keep
auch schon an den
pushing toward
Panzerwracks. Hier
Vegel?
gab es schon Schlachten
Town
und
Square,
deswegen
maybe?
gibt es halt auch Gräben und ähnliches und Helsum und Osterbeek und Co. Das ist ja
And as well,
tatsächlich
during
noch
the live,
die
feel free
quasi
to ask
relativ
question.
frisch, wo die
We
Landung
see
gerade
the feed,
stattfindet.
so if we see
Und
good
deswegen sieht
question,
man
we will
da
answer
halt
them.
nicht
We have a
Panzersperren oder
long
nicht
way
viele
to
Panzersperren und
walk.
sowas.
As you can see here, we don't see
Das war
Vegel
zumindest die
Church
Begründung im
yet,
letzten
especially with
TeaTime.
the fog and the rain. But we have a lot of landmarks in the distance, like those windmills over there.
Well, do we want to set up a regroup call and show off some
Na,
of
per Conti.
the
Ja, ich werde es jetzt nicht
charging
wiederholen.
and everything?
Oh yes, let's do that. Let's team
T-
kill a little.
TLDR-Variante, sie zeigen die neuen Features, das Bajonett, die neue Karte. Sie haben den neuen Panzer gezeigt von den Amis, das ist der ganz reguläre Sherman. Und jetzt stechen sie sich ein bisschen gegenseitig ab.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm gonna stab someone. Oh, give me 1 second, I'm gonna sneeze. I'll be right back.
Er muss kurz niesen, er ist gleich wieder da.
Looks like Snazzy's going to be the first culprit.
Oh yeah.
Wieder Amis, bin raus.
Sorry, Snazzy.
Und was hast du denn
So
erwartet,
basically,
Panic?
what happens? I'm just gonna show how the few combination of what you can do. So now you see I have the bayonet. So I press mouse for the key. If I hold it, you know, I'm holding my rifle. Then I let go and I stab. But I can also
So, das
hold
Abstechen
the mouse
funktioniert,
and
indem du die
sprint
Maustaste
forward
gedrückt hältst oder
and then
die
let go.
Taste, die du dafür festgelegt hast.
Sorry.
Und wenn du die Maustaste loslässt, sticht er halt zu und du kannst damit halt auch so einen Bajonettangriff machen.
Oh, Striker,
Aus dem
can you
Laufen
stab someone
raus.
that is not me?
Oh, good.
That was brutal.
Und das ist auch das neue Ragdoll-System, glaube ich.
And what we did is the usual.
Hallo,
but,
Action Jackson.
maybe Scrub, you can actually talk about sound and how you do it, because if I stab meat or if I stab pavement or if I stab dirt, it's different sounds. So
Yeah, so
Und es gibt
we
unterschiedliche
have different
Geräusche,
sounds for
was du mit dem
obviously
Bajonett halt
charging
tust.
up your rifle and then thrusting it forward, and then depending on what you're going to hit in front of you, we'll either play like stabbing into concrete or dirt, or in this case, flesh. We did play around with some sort of charging screams, but none of us are really any.
Was wir auch ausprobiert hatten, sind so Angriffsrufe. Also wenn du einen Sturmangriff mit dem Bajonett machst, dass dann so oder sowas kommt, aber keiner von denen ist Voice Actor, deswegen haben sie es lieber gelassen.
Stuffing someone with a knife, so. But yeah, we tried to make it as dynamic as possible, depending on what you stab. It was quite nice to have a universal set of sounds for equipping and unequipping the bayonet for all rifles. Tried to make it so that you could just add it to whichever rifle and just sort of change the pitch and the speed of it rather than spending.
Und sie haben auch Geräusche gemacht, die relativ universell benutzbar sind für das Aufpflanzen und Abnehmen des Bajonettes, sodass sie eben nicht immer wieder neue Sounds machen müssen, sondern nur leicht variieren.
At least on my end.
Yeah, what about animation, Macaulay? You were close. Oh, are you in? Yeah. There you are. So basically, what happened? Because we had weapons in the past. I mean, the Garand, we had it for month, maybe not year, but month at least. And so what we had to do, if I'm correct, is we had to rig the weapons again to add the new bone for the bayonet. Can you explain us a bit the process while we go?
Sie mussten die Waffen mehr oder weniger alle nochmal überarbeiten, die das Bajonett bekommen, damit die halt quasi die Struktur haben, damit das Bajonett dran passt.
Right now, the weapons we have available for the bayonets is the M1 Garand,
Die Waffen, wo das Bajonett dran passt, das K98, das G41, das Lee Enfield, die Sten und das Garand.
Yeah, once we had that re-rigged, we still had to kind of investigate on what would work the best way with the animations. And we came up with a system that
Messer-only haben sie noch nicht beantwortet.
We have 3 thrust stabbing variants. One is hitting flesh, so actually hitting someone. The other one is hitting
unterschiedliche Geräusche eben, was eben passiert, wenn du mit dem Bajonett was triffst. Also wenn du Fleisch triffst, passiert was, wenn du Boden triffst, passiert was und wenn du halt Luft triffst, passiert was.
Of course execute depending on what is registered as a hit. Yeah, and then it was
und so verhält sich dann halt die Waffe.
These animations for all these weapons and also doing the 3P character variations.
Und dann mussten sie halt die ganzen Animationen aus der Ego-Sicht und auch von der Außenansicht machen.
We have one animation that you see when you are playing the game right now. You see my rifle, that's the first person animation, but you also have to do a second animation. The third person animation is
und jetzt erklärt er quasi den Unterschied aus der, dass sie eben Animationen nicht nur aus der Ego-Sicht machen müssen, sondern auch von der Außenansicht. Weil du es gibt einige Spiele, wo es das gleiche ist und andere müssen, bei einigen müsste halt separate Animationen machen.
Like AAA or I would say, Call of Duty, Battlefield, all the big games, there is this classic thing where you animate the weapon you see, but also you animate what the others will see.
Yeah, but it's kind of dull the work, but sometimes it's worth it.
It gives you freedom and flexibility.
Es ist halt viel Arbeit, aber manchmal ist es halt die Arbeit auch wert.
Blocked by it somehow. So this is the town square of Vegel. So there is a little, little channel here. I don't know if you call it a channel. It's
und das ist halt das Stadtzentrum von Wegel.
So yeah, you don't want to go for a swim. It's not really healthy.
Und hier ist halt so ein Kanal drin oder eine Bucht. Und die ist zu tief, um drin stehen zu bleiben. Also wenn du da zum Schwimmen gehst, dann säufst du halt ab.
Yeah, I think we'll listed a few. I don't think we're missing any.
Bayonets?
Yeah, bayonets. Like I said, it's Car98, Sten, Lee Enfield, M1 Garand, and G41, yes.
And the Sten gun.
Warum das G41 aber das G43 nicht, verstehe ich nicht, aber gut. Haben sie gerade nochmal bestätigt, die Liste. Das M1, das K98, die Sten, das Enfield und das G41. Kann man mit der Sten endlich den Gegner töten? Ja.
Especially with the fog, I don't know what it is, but
mit dem Bajonett kann ich dann auch endlich mit dem Enfield irgendwelche Leute töten.
Yeah, maybe through the swamp.
Na, und jetzt zeigen sie halt noch so ein bisschen Level-Design. Da gibt es wohl auch noch gleich einen Sumpf, durch den sie durchgehen.
The next objective we could show off the new ragdolls with the bullet impulse, which adds a lot, especially when you've got the bayonet system in as well.
Yeah, let's do that.
Übrigens, das Ruckeln kommt nicht von mir, ne? Ist bei denen, nicht bei mir. Und gleich zeigen sie noch das neue Ragdoll-System, wenn Leute von Kugeln getroffen werden. Nach der Ankündigung soll es halt sein, wo du getroffen wirst, je nachdem sollst du halt umfallen. Dass es halt ein bisschen glaubwürdiger ist. Oder cineastischer, je nachdem.
Right now the computer is doing fine, so I don't think it's...
I think it's happened before. It's obviously something mad with your video settings, but I don't think we managed to fix it.
Yeah, I see the feed on the TV in the office, so I see it a bit laggy, but that's not what I have right here. Can I get one other guy from my section to come here so we can just make a tent before we show them? Yeah, we're gonna make it here. There we go.
Ja, und die haben halt deutlich bessere Rechner als ich.
We're gonna do a few headshots. So as you know right now,
also wenn es mal bei einem Stream ruckelt, heißt das nicht unbedingt, dass es bei mir ist.
There is no reaction to where the bullet
es wurde noch nicht gesagt, wann das Update kommt.
Sometimes with a high velocity rifle, the bullet would just go straight through and you would just collapse like.
Aber die Erfahrung sagt,
a switch. But we wanted to have a bit more of information and I would say maybe stopping power would be the right way of describing it.
Well, it also helps to show everyone else where
Die
you
Erfahrung sagt, ich vermute
Also,
noch diesen
yes.
Monat.
behind or in front. the
Anfang
left or
nächsten
So who
spätestens.
don't kill me. Let's kill someone sideways.
So, jetzt,
Let's go with a big
volunteer.
gun. Let's go with a Garen or something with a good
so, jetzt
power.
töten sie sich halt ein bisschen, um das neue
So
System
maybe
halt zu
Raikane,
zeigen.
can you kill Mac in the head? Let's see how it behaves.
Da ist halt jetzt ein bisschen mehr Wucht
Let's kill
hinter und das
someone else.
Umfallen passt halt, oder sieht halt dementsprechend
died
besser
already, yes.
aus, wo man halt getroffen wird und mit was für einer Waffe man
Raikane, you
getroffen
didn't
wird.
die.
Okay.
I got you. Right. By the right.
Herr Drill wurde
Maybe in the
überrannt.
head.
Ja, ich habe kurz
dead center,
mitverteidigt,
right
das
in
hat
the
nicht viel geholfen. Ja, und das sind halt jetzt absichtliche Kopftreffer.
So yeah, this plus the MG42 is
Wegel.
some great
Ein Stückchen südlich von Arnheim.
Let's skip.
Ist ein Stück Hell's Highway.
What else should we discuss?
Oder
Do we
der
have any
Hell's Highway,
questions in the
genauer
chat,
gesagt.
Or should we just keep going?
Well, just going on from the body impact stuff, I think that also sort of helped us realize the point of bayonets when we kind of put the two together with the impulse and the stabbing that really sort of brought it together. So that was kind of
Ja,
good
die sieht
timing on
richtig,
getting those
richtig
two
geil
systems
aus.
working.
Yeah,
Gefällt mir
definitely.
richtig
It's
gut.
something we wanted to do for quite some time. But again, it's always a matter of priorities and what is important to be done first.
Falls die Kathedrale
Here, I
wieder
think
offen
here
ist.
is a good example again of macro detail. Is you're still going to assault the church, but you still have cover and more. How could you say? It?
Nee, im
More
Nordwesten
maybe
liegt,
high ground,
war der
more
Spawnpunkt.
verticality. You can
Yeah, well, I
climb
think
some-
things
Also
like
der
these
Punkt,
burns
also
and
Wegel
the
ist
earth
südlich
over
von
hang
Arnheim.
gears,
Oh yeah, I
Haben
can
sie
I can
gesagt.
see a
bit more
full
efficient
section
to just
here.
Yeah, compared
Was
to
ja im
say
Grunde
just
dasselbe ist.
hiding behind a bush, having this as
Wenn
actual-
Arnheim
and then
nordwestlich
leaping
von
over to
Wegel
go over
liegt.
the top is pretty cool. It's one of my favorite things about Vermont.
Aber ich
And they
glaube,
look pretty cool.
nordwestlich von dem Punkt
Ja, definitiv ist one
unten
of my
sollte die
favorites.
Landezone sein und Wegel ist
So
südlich
here,
von
this
Arnheim.
is
So habe
the
ich es
Church of
verstanden.
Wegel. It is not an enterable building. That would
Haha, per Conti, die Kathedrale ist
way
dicht.
too much work for not much of a payoff, I could say.
Die
It's
Kathedrale
just, at
wäre
least,
zu viel
you know
Arbeit
that
und
this
würde sich
building
nicht
is
wirklich
exactly the
lohnen.
church that was here at that exact same location in 1944.
Aber die
Same.
Kathedrale gab es halt in
We have
1944, genau die.
some other hero
Und
buildings. of Wegel, yes.
deswegen haben sie
Yep,
sie eingebaut, damit es so einen
there's-
Wiedererkennungswert
There's
gibt.
a Wegel Church and there's a Wegel Town Hall.
Yeah.
Where was that exactly? I think it's down the road.
Ich finde genug versteckt, ja, definitiv.
Oh, yeah, let's go
Und
see
von
that
der
building.
Karte her
So
sieht es auch
basically,
aus,
as
als
you-
gäbe es
most
viel
of you guys
offenes
know
Feld
is
oder
we have a lot of buildings that
offeneres
were
Feld und
used
Orts- und
across
Häuserkamm.
Arnhem and Velmolen. We have
Und die
to
Mischung
reuse
finde ich
assets.
gut.
We can't make every single building its own building. It's
Und was sie
impossible.
auch machen, ist, sie
But when
benutzen
there
halt
is
die
a
Assets
famous
aus
landmark,
Arnheim
we
und
take the time and we
Velmolen.
actually redo it as
Also
close as
Assets
possible,
sind
like
halt
the
sowas wie die,
Arnhem Bridge
alles was man auf
and,
der
the
Karte
Arnhem
sieht.
train station and so
Und die
on
benutzen
so
sie
on.
halt immer wieder, aber dann machen sie halt auch noch einzigartige Sachen für die spezifische Map.
I think it's behind this row.
It's just to your right now.
Ja, also deswegen gibt es halt immer wieder Häuser, die identisch aussehen mit anderen Karten, einfach um halt Zeit zu sparen.
Oh, there it
Und
is. Okay. That's also a historical building, yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
ja, also die Devs
Das
haben
ist
halt
gut
gesagt, es
sein.
lohnt sich nicht. Und wahrscheinlich ist die Kathedrale so am Arsch der Welt, dass es sich halt nicht lohnt.
Yeah, it seems the Germans have stolen all the furniture.
Und die
Yeah,
Town
it-
Hall
it-
haben
it's,
sie
it got sent to Switzerland.
eigenständig gemacht und die Deutschen haben die Inneneinrichtung geklaut und in die Schweiz geschickt.
For reasons.
It's too valuable.
They left the lights. Good guys, German. So that's pretty much Wegel. I mean, I'm going to show you on the minimap what you've just seen. It's really a glimpse of how big the map is. So we started in the main, we went along Hell's Highway here to the road bridge, we crossed around here to Town Square, and then we went to the church that is right here. So you see we've done like 1/3 of the map in terms of distance, and you have all the rest of the map where you can play. So as usual, what we're going to do when we release, we're going to talk about the release slightly later today, but we will do one layer of AAS, so that's the one, and we will do one layer of offensive. And
Sie
then
machen
we'll give this to the supporter for a
erstmal
few hours to test, to make sure it's all good. We are going to do that a few times, and then, as usual, we'll release that content for free for everyone, whatever.
Also erstmal, der Inhalt ist gratis, also
that
kriegt
was,
jeder. Und
Vegel.
sie testen den halt einmal einen AAS und einen Offensive. Und wenn ich es richtig verstanden habe, kriegen das auch die Supporter, aber ich weiß es gerade nicht,
Most of the,
weil ich mich gerade mit euch unterhalten
the
habe.
objective areas really, so no, nothing special.
So what I'm gonna do before we switch map, I'll switch to admin cam just so we can fly up in the air, so you guys can have a better understanding of the map, how big it is.
Do you want to move on to the vehicle damage model next then?
I think the damage model would be a good
Und jetzt gibt's halt
subject
nochmal.
for next.
You can segue to the armored mode as well at the same time.
Great.
Also die Karte sieht richtig
let's do
geil aus,
armed
gefällt mir
right
richtig
after.
gut.
Let's get started with the damage model, and we'll switch to the armored because it's a different map. So can you switch us to Arnhem Range US, please? And yeah, let's see if we have any questions, and then we will move on.
I think people are asking to see the Puma now that we've seen the Sherman. So we can show that off. Is that in the range map?
Sie haben gerade den
See,
deutschen
if it
Panzer
is
bestätigt,
not,
es ist der
it will
Puma.
be in armored, so we will be able to show it at least today. It was in Vegel. We could have went there. It was just in the German main.
Also wir kriegen einen richtig echten Puma.
One thing we could say is why we added those two vehicles and not any other vehicles, because we could have added a King Tiger, or we could have added a lot of things, and why we added the Puma and the Sherman. So the main reason we added the Puma was because in armored game mode, and you will see that in an instant, is we have recon section, heavy section, and the commander section. And if you were to fight a Daimler against the Puma or a T-17 against the
Panzermodus haben sie unterschiedliche Sections. Und warum sie den Puma eingebaut haben und den Sherman, haben sie für den Panzer-Only-Modus, haben sie das halt reingepackt, damit es passt. Damit der Daimler und der T-17 ein entsprechendes Gegenstück haben, und das ist dann der 5 cm
The reason we
Puma.
added the Sherman M4A3 was because this vehicle was overused in Market Garden, and it is
Und warum sie den M4 drin haben, oder den M4A3, weil sie den einfach in Tonnen bei Market Garden benutzt haben.
In Market Garden, so I'm gonna go in German, in 82nd Airborne, so that's the range.
Und das ist jetzt die neue, also es gibt ja schon längst die Shooting Range für die Amis.
So some of you may recognize that map. It is our
Und es ist halt die Testmap, nur halt mit den Amis. Und scheinbar haben sie die Panzer mit Trefferzonen eingebaut.
So you may have noticed that little ghosty Panzer IV right here and all those ghosty vehicles on the side.
Okay, jetzt bin ich gespannt.
So I will actually take that next subject to Striker. Striker is a lead coder with Periscope Games, and he's the one.
Jetzt kommen die Trefferzonen für die Panzer.
So before we explain the new system, maybe
und das neue Schadensmodell. Inklusive dem alten System. Also das alte System wird jetzt erklärt und danach kommt das neue.
So basically, I think in spring 2018, yes, we explained that we were going to do the damage model in 2 steps. The first step was just the basic with just the engine and some sort of health bar, and if you get to 0,
es gab das Ursprungsschadensystem, gab den Motor und quasi Hitpoints.
Expand on this, going a bit more into,
und jetzt haben sie mehr Details.
Say full simulation, because this is not a full simulation like it would be in
sie wollen keine volle Simulation,
definitely a step in the,
aber sie gehen in die realistische Region.
I can't see names because I'm in the US. Okay. So can you explain explain the Panzer IV to us, please?
Erklär uns den Panzer IV.
It's a pretty good tank.
Es ist ein guter Panzer, Ende der
It's better than the Panzer III, it's less good than the Panzer V.
Yeah, that's about all I know about it.
Ist besser als der Panzer III, aber schlechter als der Panzer V.
So, the damage model that's been in since release has, I wouldn't say what we're coming out with now is new compared to that one. It's just more of an update of it.
So, das Schadensmodell vom Release würde jetzt halt überarbeitet, es ist nicht komplett neu.
Some of the stuff we share with Squad's damage model and all that.
Und sie teilen sich das quasi mit Squads Schadensmodell und ein bisschen mehr reingebaut. Die Ketten, die Crew, Turmantrieb. Und das kommt in jeden Panzer. Oder in jedes Fahrzeug. Es gibt auch ein neues Benutzerinterface, damit alle wissen, was Sache ist.
Components such as the engine and the what was the other one? I think maybe just
the ammo rack. Right now in this it's the ammo rack / fuel. It was the same thing, and the engine. And the thing is,
halt
each
früher
time
nur
you hit the ammo rack, you had a chance of it to
Munition
because the power
und
inside,
Sprit.
That's the
Und wenn du die
best thing
getroffen
you
hast,
can have right
bestand
now is
eine
you hit the
Chance,
ammo
dass der
rack
Panzer
and you're
sofort
lucky enough,
explodiert.
it goes boom. That was a bit too gamey. So what we did in this system is, as you can see here, we have the ping box.
Das neue System ist, Pink ist der Antrieb.
The projectile is leaving my cannon, and then he's going to hit the first polygon of the vehicle, and he's going to check how thick of a metal plate that is.
Wenn jetzt der Panzer getroffen wird, wird erstmal geguckt, wie dick die Panzerung ist, und dann wird verglichen mit der Durchschlagswirkung des Geschosses.
100 millimeter of
Finger weg von meinen Panzern per Conti.
So that means my shell is going to go here, hit the metal, is going to do a check. Is it bigger than 100 millimeter? Yes or no? And it's also based on the angle. So as you know,
wenn die Durchschlagswirkung zu niedrig ist und die Anwinkelung, also jetzt spielt die Anwinkelung eine Rolle und die Durchschlagswirkung des Geschosses.
Of course, but I don't remember in English. It's just the angle if it's tilted and relative thickness. That's exactly what I was looking for. So
und das ist dann da wird dann die relative Dicke verglichen.
If not, then the shell goes through and then the shell goes through and what's behind.
Und wenn die Durchschlagswirkung größer ist, geht es durch die Panzerung, und zwar in dem Winkel, wo sie trifft, und trifft dann die Komponente, die dahinter ist. Also hier in dem Beispiel der Antrieb. Und wenn der Antrieb halt getroffen wird, fällt der Antrieb aus. Beziehungsweise bekommt er Schaden.
Ignition to go off and you won't be able to drive again unless you go out, get your little wrench and fix it. So that's for the engine, but you can
und da muss man ihn halt reparieren.
Kind of damage the engine. So if it's halfway damaged, then your vehicle transmission is going to get slowed down, so you will not be able to go full speed as your vehicle is.
Und wenn man ihn von Hand repariert, wenn ich das gerade richtig verstanden habe, dann kriegt man trotzdem nicht die volle Leistung wieder, sondern dafür braucht man eine Repair Station. Wenn ich es richtig verstanden habe.
It's literally everywhere. Everything got an engine. Then we have the grain volume, that is the track, and if the track gets hit, like
dann
you're
gibt's die
driving
Ketten.
full speed and the left track get blown out.
Wenn man mit Vollgas fährt und die linke Kette zerschossen wird, dann fängt der Panzer halt an zu drehen. Und irgendwann ist halt quasi Energie alle und fährt nicht mehr. Leider gibt es keine visuelle Darstellung für die Ketten, wenn die zerstört sind.
The thing is, doing a proper simulation, like you would expect the track to break and you would keep driving on the track, that would be just too complex for such a small team.
Sie machen es nicht übertrieben, dass man dann sieht, wie die Kette quasi abspringt.
A real track breaking, that would have been amazing, but we can't do it. But at least you can
3D tracks, that would have just been
that would have been cool though.
Wouldn't have performed.
Yeah, it would have been nice, but yeah, let's do what's doable for a team like us. We are, how many hours we're right now? 13, I think. 12 or 13.
Sie müssen nach wie vor bedenken, dass sie 12 bis 13 Mann sind. So dass es keine voll 3D-Simulation für Ketten
So let's say you are in a Cromwell here and you see a big tiger. And you have no chance against it from the front, so you kill the track, or let's
also wenn man jetzt im Cromwell gegen einen Tiger begegnet, dann kann man sich überlegen, dass man die Ketten zerschießt, dann drumrum fährt, den Motor knackt und dann abhaut, weil der Panzer dann erstmal stehen bleibt.
So right now, let's say I'm shooting straight in the front. My shell is powerful enough, it's going through the armor, then it's going to hit the blue box. and then you have a chance to kill the crew. It's not a
Die blaue
one-to-one
Box
chance.
ist
It's not
die
if
Crew.
the shell goes through, the guy
Also
dies.
wenn die Kugel
was
durchgeht und die blaue Box
too
trifft, besteht eine
punishing, I
Chance,
think,
dass
say striker.
Yeah, it's
die
too easy.
Besatzung
It would be too
stirbt.
easy to just
Aber
kill the
es ist
crew
keine
every time.
hundertprozentige Chance, dass
That way.
immer die
Ja.
Crew
Wouldn't be
stirbt,
fun.
sobald
The tanks at
da
that
der
point
Treffer
just get
gelandet
one
ist.
shot out every
Weil es
Yeah,
einfach zu
everything- yeah, if
langweilig
you are
wäre für die
100% sure
Besatzung,
you're
die
gonna
dann
get killed every
instant
single
stirbt.
time. It's just going to remove the fun factor. So now there is a chance of being injured or killed, but it's not 100% of the
Es
time.
gibt halt eine Chance, dass das
So that's
Besatzungsmitglied
for the
verletzt
blue
oder
volumes,
getötet
and
wird.
then we have the red volume. The red volume is literally the ammo rack.
Die roten
or
Kästen
the
sind
fuel
Munition
tank. We consider the fuel tank and the ammo
oder
rack in our
Sprit.
game.
Das
not
ist
in
alles das
real
gleiche
life,
für
or just
sie
in the
im
game.
Spiel.
We consider it to do the same amount of damages. If you hit the red box, you have a chance that it goes boom, but it goes
Das funktioniert
boom
jetzt schon per
instantly. You're not
Conti.
just going to kill the engine and then it can be repaired. It's just going to go the classic ammo explosion that you know.
Wenn die Munition
Then we have
getroffen
the
wird, ist
yellow
halt Schicht im
volume
Schacht.
right here,
Und dann gibt es noch das
and
gelbe
that's the turret
Kästchen.
drive. So
und
the
das
turret
ist
drive
der
is
Turmdrehkranz.
literally the ring that allows you to rotate. So if
Und den
you
kann man
go
auch
through
ausschalten.
and it hit the yellow box, then the turret is going to, get slowed down, but it could also be completely damaged, and then you will have to repair it in order to.
Also
get
man kann ihn
traverse
beschädigen, dann
over
ist das
again.
Drehen des Turmes langsamer, oder man kann ihn zerstören und dann dreht sich
And
der
I
Turm
think
gar nicht mehr.
that's pretty much the entire damage system. We're going to show the UI shortly, but let's have a look at some vehicles and see how it's going to be done. So some of those volumes are going to be tweaked. It's not
Einige
really
der
final. We will
Größen
tweak it
werden
as
noch
we go
angepasst.
along. So that's the Citroën car. So we have the engine in the front, and we have the fuel tank behind on the on the right hand side. We have our little Kubel here. I still don't know how to say that in German. Maybe Mac, you can enlighten us.
I have no idea, to be honest.
Oh shit! Because I always say Kubelwagen, but people say it's not how you say it, so I must be wrong.
It's how it's pronounced. Sorry,
Yes.
I misunderstood. Kübelwagen.
Ah yeah, that is good.
Man muss sich treffen lassen, damit der Panzer frei dreht.
It's like
Was meinst du damit?
it's like doing. I mean, personally, I'm French, and we do a game about Netherlands. So every time we try something in
Er ist Franzose und sie machen ein Spiel in den Niederlanden.
Oh man, I really.
Und wenn er es dann
You see
versucht
how
auf
bad we
Holländisch,
are?
wird's
Well, I think
nichts.
how bad I am. So that's the Opel Blitz. We have the engine here. The fuel tank is right under the seat. That's not the best place to be in. 251. I don't know why we don't have the. Fuel tank. Should be
251 hat keinen
somewhere.
Sprit.
I'll figure where it is and add it. SDK FZ7 222 with
Der
bullets on the
222.
side and the crew. The engine at the back. Same for the 232 with the engine
232.
back here.
Moment, hat er
Something
3
we didn't
Sitze?
say is what happens if your shell is going
1, 2.
through. But let's say here, right
Wenn die
here,
Kugel
there is
durchgeht
nothing,
und nichts
no,
trifft, passiert.
components. But still, if I shoot an 88mm shell straight through a 232 or a 75 or 76mm shell, I should still do damage. So what happens is we still have to.
Dann
keep
kriegt
that
der
kind of-
Fahrer
if you're
oder kriegt
doing
das
too
Fahrzeug
many damage to
Schaden,
a vehicle, even though you're not hitting a
weil ja ein
component,
Loch drin ist.
you will
Also
still
selbst wenn
deactivate the
keine
vehicle because it's just not
Komponente
fair.
getroffen wird, macht es Schaden.
You would still damage things inside anyway. So that's the Puma. We're
Oh,
gonna
der
have
Puma
a
hat auch nur
closer
2
look at it
Sitze.
later. And all the other vehicles, all the way to the Tiger.
Und da sind alle Fahrzeuge bis zum Tiger.
And I'm gonna admin cam to the other side so we can have a quick look
Und das Ganze gibt's halt auch für die Amis.
at
Oder
the-
Alliierten.
Oops. So here we have a little Stuart, Half Track, Firefly, Churchill, Cromwell, T17, Daimler,
17, Daimler,
Grand Carrier,
Wenn und so weiter und so fort.
Bedford, Austin K5, the Morris, and the Jeep. So all of this is going to be in the next patch.
Erst den Kranz zerstören, dann eine Kugel vorne aufs Rohr, dann dreht er sich vielleicht. Das ist der Puma.
Brand new Puma. So I think you guys heard a lot of people calling the 232 a Puma. So now there is finally a Puma in the game. Because the 232 is not a Puma. Good old turret glitch. Love that one.
Und der Turmglitch ist immer noch drin.
Hallo?
Und der sagt, der 232 ist kein Puma.
So what I'm going to do while you drive around, I'm going to respawn
Ja, BookMG.
and join a tank section. So, oh, actually, I can just join it like that. There you go. I'm just gonna lose my kit. Can you come back with a little Puma? I should be able to drive it in the range. I don't think there is a team restriction.
Das wäre mir neu.
I'll jump out.
Aber warum hat der Puma
Again,
nur 2
feel free if you have
Sitze?
any questions. We can. Ooh, and there we go. Ow. Sherman 75, M4A3, with a trusty German at the wheel.
Ja, der 234
Okay.
ist ja auch der Puma.
So everyone get out of the Puma. I'm just gonna
Weil der
give it a
234 in
Test
unterschiedlichen
Drive.
Variationen gebaut wurden. 234 1, 2, 3
Okay, so
und
that's
4,
the driver's
glaube ich.
seat. As usual, I can open the hatch, look around, and you see at the bottom right of my screen.
Und soweit
where
wie
the
ich es
speed
weiß, hatte
gauge
der immer
gun
den
is.
Spitznamen
You have the new
Puma,
transmission
nur der
icon
hatte halt
and turret
unterschiedliche
icon.
Ausstattung.
So we moved the engine ignition on the top right.
Ja, ich habe schon gerade im Chat geschrieben.
Gunner
Hier, ich kann es mal
seat.
kurz markieren. Why does the Puma only have 2 seats?
I don't think there is no hydraulic on the Puma, is there? It's just
I
manual.
don't think so. I'll
Yeah.
double
Ja, und
check,
hier unten
but-
rechts
Double
seht ihr
check,
die
yeah. Right now
Icons.
it's just hydraulic. It's just manual, but I would not expect it to have hydraulic. Could be wrong. We'll double check before release. So it's shooting 5cm APCR, and it's of course equipped with a trusty MG42 MG34 coax.
Ich bin auch der Meinung,
And I
der
can go.
also
to
eigentlich
the
brauchen die
periscope here,
Pumas
so I can look around as usual.
3 Sätze. Wir können aber gleich mal googeln nach dem Puma.
Switch to the commander. There you go. So here you can turn out, use the bino, turn back in. You have the periscope that you can rotate. I think it's 160 degrees. And you also have, if you scroll down one more time, the periscope.
Oh,
That's
das ist dann nicht der
ideal for
Schütze.
recon if you want.
Aha. Okay, dann hat er doch 3 Sätze. Nur der hat nur 2 Slots für ein Dingens. Ja, sehe ich auch gerade, dass der 3
So
hat.
that's the Puma. And let's give it a
Ich
test
hoffe,
run
dass sie
in
das
the
auch für den
Sherman.
anderen einbauen. Ja, der hat einen Fahrer nach vorne und nach hinten.
Ooh, the
Und das ist der
right side
Sherman. Linke
damaged.
Kette, rechte Kette. Motor und
So as you can
whatever
see,
the
it's
fuck
yellow,
this
so
is.
that means that my right strike is
Du und
currently
Drehkranz,
damaged, the left
vermute ich.
one is new. The transmission is intact and the turret is also intact. So I can turn out of my Sherman,
Namen
like
random.
the Firefly, same hatch, same everything. Have zoom, can rotate the periscope. Let's switch to F2, so that's going to be the gunner. Good old turret bug.
Ja, das wird geil.
As a coax.
Das hat, Ding hat auch den Browning als Koaxial-MG.
Put an HE in that dead B1 here.
Ja, ja. Der Puma hatte auch
And
4
let's go
Sitze.
commander.
Der hatte einen Fahrer nach vorne, einen nach
Actually, no,
hinten,
that's
einen
the
Kommandanten und einen
commander, that's
Richtschützen.
the
Hallo,
Hull
Skyline.
Something that the Firefly is missing. And let's go commander.
Und der M4A3 hat halt 4 Sitze. Der hat halt auch noch das Bug-MG. Was ihn als Infanterieunterstützungspanzer wertvoller macht als den Firefly. Was ja auch vollkommen
And the
Sinn macht.
periscope as well to rotate. I think this one is doing 360. Yeah, this periscope is doing a 360, so that's also a great feature for the commander. Scrub, should we move on to armor then?
Yep.
Und jetzt zeigen sie den Panzermodus.
Yeah, let's do drill. Drill is my favorite.
Panzermodus
map for
auf
tanks,
Drill.
Let's go on drill armored.
Okay, Planänderung, falls der Patch bis Ende des Monats draußen ist, weiß ich, was wir am 26. machen.
I see quite a few people in the chat asking about vehicle smoke grenade launcher, specifically on the Puma, and if those will ever be used.
Oh, the one on the side outside the turret.
Gerade wurde gefragt, ob die
but,
Panzer ihre Rauchwerfer bekommen.
I know Squad did it with is it the BTR? I mean, everything is a BTR, but they did it with one of the vehicle where you can
Squad
trigger
hat
smoke
es.
all around your vehicle.
Well, I think the
Und sie haben sich schon häufiger darüber
MBTs have them
unterhalten.
now.
I'm not too knowledgeable on how it used to work on the World War II, the one on the turret. As far as I know, and again, stop me if I'm wrong, I might be very wrong, but I think it's some sort of almost mortar-like where you put the shell and then you have like some sort of a trigger. It's almost a mortar, a smoke mortar.
Gerne Night
if I remember correctly in how it works. Okay, let's.
Da werde ich nicht mal mit
scroll all the way
aufgelistet.
to
So ein
zero.
Kameradenschwein bist du, Night Raccoon. Ich
Okay,
merke
so
mir
this
das.
is the first time we showcased Armored. So Armored is the
Das ist der
tank versus
Panzermodus?
tank game mode.
Panzer
So as
gegen
you can
Panzer.
see, we have 10,000 tickets because obviously a tank
Man
costs
hat
way more than a
10.000
little
Tickets,
infantry. So
weil
we are on drill,
ein
let's
Panzer
see,
mehr
compared to
kostet
30
als ein
core. So
Panzer.
30 core
Und man
did
kämpft
not
gegen das
make it
30.
in
Core.
drill, at least until the end of September. So this is more of a fantasy than anything else, just in order to give you tanks.
Und das ist halt nicht hundertprozentig akkurat, weil das 30. Core halt erst in Drill war Ende September.
So, let's show you the minimap. So
Die anderen Folgen ist das doch kein Problem. Es gibt Kommandopanzer, das seht ihr. Es gibt einen Kommandopanzer, es gibt Aufklärungspanzer, es gibt Panzer.
And by section, I mean vehicle. So you join, for instance, the German, and I'm going to be in the tanker section. So you have a commanding platoon. You don't see it here, it's too short, but it's supposed to be 2, 3, 4. The name is too long, we'll figure it out. But you could be, so the commander, so the commanding vehicle, it's a 2-seater, it's the Puma. No, it's not the Puma, I think it's the 232. Whatever, it's one of those vehicles you'll see in the game.
Kommandopanzer ist halt wahrscheinlich der Funkpanzer, der Funkpuma. Und dann gibt es den 234, also den richtigen Puma. Ich finde die Gruppennamen geil. Ja, habe ich auch gerade gesagt.
Light, heavy and medium tanks.
Ich hoffe, dass sie das übernehmen, dass die deutschen Gruppen nicht mehr Abel, Baker und Co. heißen.
Fun fact is, from what I gathered online, and again, that's from what we found, is the British, they used to call groups like green, red, white, and I'm not sure if it's blue. And from what I gathered, for the German, they used animals' names. So that's why here you could have like, again, my German is not going to be very good, but here you could have, is it Falke? I don't know.
Jetzt versucht er sich gerade an deutschen Namen. Die Deutschen hatten halt Tiernamen für ihre Panzergruppen.
Okay, well, anyway, you see here it's, so sometimes you could have like...
Der ist der Panzer 6.
Fuchs?
Ja.
I don't know how you say that. It's just
Fuchs.
Fuchs, but it's also a name of a vehicle. So here it's a Stug 3, so it's not, that name is not really the vehicle you're gonna drive, it's just the name.
Der Fuchs
so
ist ein
like
Stück 3, der Wolf ist ein Panzer 3.
And, you know, it's a call sign, literally.
Ein Lux, ein Lux ist ein Panzer 5, ist ein Panther.
Red, green, white, and so on, based on what vehicle you run.
Nein, es gibt nicht den Königstiger.
So I'm gonna join Scrubs section here, and I'm gonna be. You don't have to select here. You're gonna be a crewman by default anyway. And now when you respawn, you will see that you don't respawn with everyone else. You respawn close to your vehicle respawn. So one thing that is happening in PS right now is having
Panzermodus hat man Panzer-Spawn-Plätze und die sind da.
And not a single vehicle more than what you need. It's helping a lot with performance, and as you can imagine, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 vehicles. So it's going to be 24 vehicles live on the server at any given time with 80 players. So it's going to be heavy, and we have to make sure that we only use the resource we need. So here I respawn close to that vehicle spawner. It says hi. Ja, and then
und da steht dann halt der Gruppenname und dann sagt man Spawn Vehicle und dann wie beim Fahrzeugzelt auch.
And your section mate will respawn on the left hand side of that spawner. So if I go to that other spawner right here.
Und wenn man das haben sie gemacht, weil sie eben nicht 50 Panzer quasi in der Spawn stehen lassen wollen, weil das einfach sehr extremst die Performance frisst. Und hier ist es so, dass dass man eben nicht zu den anderen Spawns hingehen könnte, um die anderen zu trollen und hey, ich klaue euch jetzt den Panzer.
Sure, let's do that. FPS. Yeah, I see I'm getting 85, 90 FPS.
Und er kriegt hier halt 90 FPS, 75, relativ stabile 75 FPS plus.
Anyway, let's explain the game mode itself. So you see everybody is getting his own vehicles, so Section 10 is respawning here, Section 8 is respawning there, and Section 2
und jeder bekommt halt seinen eigenen Spawnpunkt, wo man spawnen kann.
Lush, whatever how you say it in German. So you can say, hey, this is Wolf to Lush, we are going east, or you have contact north. It's really easy for radio. Now in terms of game rule, it's extremely simple, like very simple. You see, you have lines that connect.
Der Spielmodus ist quasi AAS.
So every time you play an armored game mode, you always have 1, 2, 4, 7 flags.
Man hat 7 Eroberungspunkte und man muss halt die Front hat, also die erste Linie hat 2, dann kommt 3, dann kommt wieder 2 und halt die Main Base. Und die Punkte sind halt mit Linien verbunden.
So it's the same concept. So now, let's say they capture this, they can capture that one, and the more flags we have,
und je mehr Panzer man hat, umso schneller gehen die Tickets von dem anderen halt runter.
Because the British have one more flag than we do.
Und da ist halt das Verhältnis zwischen den Fahnen, die eine Seite hat, im Verhältnis zu den anderen.
Ours.
Einen Jagdpanzer 4 gibt es schon auf einer Map. Aber das ist eine Nachtmap.
Bearing in mind you're streaming from the same system as well.
Yes, I'm streaming. Yeah, I'm in the
Der
office
Conti kriegt gerade einen Ständer, definitiv. Und nicht nur er. Seid froh, dass wir keine Webcam haben. You've been banned from Twitch. So.
Drill. That's the one. Oops, that was not the right way. Okay, let's go around the church.
Aber der hat Dampf, hat der Puma. Nee, ich habe die Nachtmaps nicht drin. Ich muss die Map sowieso nochmal überarbeiten. Also die Map-Liste.
This is more of a gamey game mode. You have flags, you capture. If you have more than the enemy, you win. If you kill enemy vehicles, you remove tickets. It's extremely simple, yet
ist halt ein sehr simpler Spielmodus, wo es halt hauptsächlich darum geht, sich gegenseitig auf die Mütze zu hauen und ein paar Capture-Punkte einzunehmen.
One thing we didn't say is how fast it takes for you to capture a flag is.
Und die Eroberungsgeschwindigkeiten sind abhängig von den Fahrzeugen.
Try to block them while the big guys are capturing in the back. So each vehicle, based on its size, is having its own cap speed. So a recon vehicle like the one I'm in right now is going to capture. Oh, that's already a demo here. I'm gonna capture slower than a big
die
tank.
Kleinen Fahrzeuge, also die Spätpanzer, capturen langsamer als die großen, damit es eben nicht so ein extremes Rushen der leichten Panzer wird.
But if you take a Puma and a Tiger combine, both of them will capture faster than the
Aber je mehr Panzer auf der Cap-Zone stehen, umso schneller geht's. Also wenn jetzt zum Beispiel ein Puma und ein Tiger auf der Fahne stehen, geht's recht schnell.
So the cap zone are pretty big. I'm gonna get out and show you the size of the cap zone in the admin camp.
Habe ich schon im offiziellen Discord nachgefragt.
Let's go in admin. There we go. Yeah, I forgot the key. Is it 5? No, 6, 7? Oh,
6.
6. Yeah, that's 6. So you see the blue, that blue circle. I'm gonna move out and stop moving for a second so the stream can.
So, die Capture-Zone ist halt diese große Kuppel.
Should be visible in the stream. So you have a green, a blue sphere all around. So that's
the geht halt so
it's pretty big. We don't
um den Boden, damit es eben kein Kuscheln in der Mitte ist.
To have the tank at the same location because that's the only location you have cover. So those areas are pretty big. We have this one is called Drill East, and we have Central over there.
Das sind schon recht große Capture-Punkte, damit man eben ein bisschen mehr Abwechslung hat, wo man cappen kann. Und damit die Leute nicht wissen, das ist der Capture-Kreis, da kann ich schon mal pro forma hinschießen, da muss er irgendwo hocken.
What do we have here? Is that the Churchill? Yeah, that's a little Churchill.
Ein kleiner Churchill, sagt er.
Well, that's pretty much armored. There is not much else to it. Is you join a section with your friend, then you capture the zones. We will try to possibly make a smaller version, because right now this layer requires a full server to be actually fun.
Sie überlegen auch, kleinere Layer zu machen, damit es halt so eine Light-Version für einen Panzer gibt. So, dass es quasi ein Capture-Punkt, dann 2, dann einer ist. Nein, Rixrax. Wir können die Fahrzeuge nicht optisch modifizieren.
Yeah, so I guess we covered armored, the Sherman, and the 234 Puma. I think the next thing on the list is the modding SDK.
Yeah.
So, jetzt geht's ums Modding.
So that's its status at the moment. What's going on with it at the moment?
What's going on? The thing is, on our end and Offworld's end, because we work together on this, is we are pretty much good to go. Now the only problem is, it's gonna sound like I'm bitching, is since Epic got so big and huge as a company, they are also becoming less
so, der SDK von ihrer Seite ist fertig.
So right now we are waiting from Epic.
Jetzt warten sie halt auf Rückmeldung von Epic, weil Epic so groß ist, dass es halt dauert, bis eine Antwort kommt.
So right now it's good to go. We're just missing we just need them to actually do it.
Yeah, ideally we actually wanted it to come out. We wanted to release the SDK before.
We wanted December before the holidays,
yeah. But like as you said, with Fortnite being so massive, and also now the Epic Games Store now being pushed out as well. It's just sort of their priorities, and we're just waiting on their verification.
Yeah, it's a bit like when a company gets so big, it's just somehow it becomes harder to get in touch with them, where you would expect it to be the other way around, because they would have more resources. But it's not. It's the same problem we had in September with Valve, when our Steam page wasn't up to date, and we couldn't get a hand on Valve. They just weren't answering, and so it was very frustrating. So SDK is coming, no worries. There is no change of plan. There is no.
Es ist alles geplant, aber sie warten halt auf Rückmeldung.
Now it's just we're playing the waiting game, sadly.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not really a lot we can do about it.
Nah.
So next on the list is it's a small Q&A session, I guess, with everyone in the Twitch chat. If everyone wants any questions answered, we'll do our best. If you want to tag us in the chat, and then we'll go through a few of them. Also, we can't answer everything, so don't feel offended if we can't answer your question specifically. We'll do that for the next sort of 10-15 minutes, I guess, before we wrap up.
So, mal gucken. Jetzt kommt die Frage- und Antwort-Section. Also wenn ihr Fragen habt, schreibt sie bei mir in den Chat. Ich übersetze dann und schicke sie weiter.
First question from Trakkar LP. How is repairing solved in the armored mode? As far as I know, it's fairly similar to vanilla.
Right now we have two ways. It's the same. There is no the vehicles you have in armored game mode are exactly the same as you have in AAS in offensive. So the concept remains the same. We still are thinking, and that's not something we have done. If you look at
das Schadensmodell ist das gleiche, die Fahrzeuge sind die gleichen, aber es gibt keine Logi Section.
If your vehicle is damaged, like not too badly, like let's say the engine is busted, you get out of the vehicle, you grab your
Wenn der Motor am Arsch ist, repariert man es von Hand.
I don't have the right kit now, so that's actually an issue. I should be crewman. Anyway, we'll figure that one out later. So I would get out and fix my tank. However, if it's
das ist das Standardmodell.
It will respawn at main base. But in armored as it is right now, there is no repair station.
Es gibt keine Repair Station in Armored.
Tank. And that's, I think time will tell how it goes. If it's unbalanced, unfun, or anything, we will change it, but we just want to release it I would almost say as is and see how it goes, and then we'll
Sie werden es erstmal releasen und dann werden sie gucken, wie es sich abzeichnet. Wenn die Leute es nicht lustig finden.
We've got any plans to add more offensive layers for Arnhem since we've only used half the map so far?
Yes, yeah, as soon as we have a level designer available, we will get some... Oh shit, that was painful.
Wie sieht's mit anderen Offense-Versionen von Arnhem aus? Sobald der Level-Designer Zeit hat.
In the near future. What we usually do is we do our best with making one layer that is solid and then we make another 10. But,
die machen erstmal einen Layer, der wirklich gut funktioniert und dann machen sie mehr Layer dann danach, aber mit Arnhem sind die sehr zufrieden.
Okay. Another question, I think I can actually answer this one, is will it make it so that both sides can hear local chat? As I know a lot of people have been asking for it, especially in my own group.
Bekommt man die Möglichkeit, local zu hören?
We've addressed this like a bunch of times, but the reason is if you try and have a VoIP system where everyone can hear everyone, then problem number one is people start using third-party voice systems such as Discord or
Der Grund ist Nummer 1, die Leute würden dann halt auf Third-Party-Varianten wechseln wie Teamspeak oder Discord. Das würde dem Spiel nicht helfen.
And also you can get a lot of people just, being dicks in VoIP and just shouting things needlessly.
Und dann kann es sein, dass Leute auch Arschlöcher sind und den Chat zu sagen.
It's mainly the people using third-party VoIP systems that would basically render it pointless to do. Unfortunately.
One thing I forgot to mention about the game mode of Armored is because I got killed and I respawn is the flag got neutraled, but some of you may have noticed I managed to respawn here and not at main. Thing is, when you own a flag, then there is a respawn behind it. So let's say your tank is your crew.
Hallo Christian, Namen werden die Visiere der Deutschen rotierbar sein und die Schussentfernung einstellbar. Habe ich gerade gefragt, weil ich gelesen habe.
You don't want to go from main all the way back to your tank, and you also don't want your tank to drive all the way back to main. So if you go close to a friendly own flag, then you can respawn on it and then you just finish the few hundred meters on foot and then you get back with your crew.
Es gibt Spawnpunkte an den Eroberungspunkten in Armored-Modus.
So it's a good way for
so dass man dann wieder zurück zum Panzer kann.
And be like, oh fuck it, I don't want to walk another 2 kilometers. That was just a little in between. Can resume the questions.
Next question is, will you work on the uncensored version anytime soon?
The uncensored version, yeah, that's the topic that comes quite often.
We did go through the
we
process.
tried the USK approval, the German rating agency telling you
was ist mit den Hakenkreuzen und dem Gedöns auf den Deutschen?
Symbols.
Sie haben sich mit der USK kurz geschlossen und die USK war der Meinung, nö.
For a game like us to have symbols and everything.
Ja, klar mache ich ein Video zu den Neuerungen,
we don't
die
have
alle
the
drin
coding
sind.
resource to make 2 versions. It could be pretty complex because you would have mismatch. So right now we decided to go with a censored game for the time being, and maybe, only maybe, because we're in for a long run. I mean, it's not like we're not stopping PS right now. So if German laws are going to change in the next few weeks, month, I hope not years, but let's say a month, just to be on the safe side. I would really hope so. Then we will censor the game, but in the meantime,
und damit es einfacher ist für sie, behalten sie einfach eine globale zensierte Version bei.
Will the modular system for tanks mean an end to explosive deaths of tanks completely unless you hit the ammo rack?
Yes, if you keep hitting the tank and your shell are going to, it's going to simulate the hull being
werden Panzer jetzt nur noch
then that will
durch Explosionen zerstört werden und sonst stehen sie nur rum?
By an ammo rack explosion, but it's like if you guys have played Men of War as much as I did, sometimes you get that red message to say hull destroyed. So it's not a big ass explosion, but there is no coming back, there is no repair.
Also Panzer explodieren nicht immer nur, sondern es kann halt auch sein, dass man die komplette Crew ausschaltet oder ähnliches.
I guess maybe Reich can answer this. How many layers in Vagel do we? This is going to test your memory.
Ja, German Laws müssen sich anpassen, damit das funktioniert. Für Wegel wird's, also wie viele Layer gibt's für Wegel? 3 AAS und eine Offensive.
Post Vagel's release will be, as with the previous maps, be adding sort of layers here and
Und
there.
sie
And,
fügen auch nachträglich noch Layer hinzu, wie jetzt auch.
And what are the options for the platoon commander in the armored mode?
So, was für Möglichkeiten hat der Platoon Commander im Panzermodus?
Airstrikes and everything else, basically.
Yes, yeah, you have a radio in the back of his vehicle, and
Der hat ein Funkgerät im Panzer.
it's the same commander as in every other game
Ist
mode.
derselbe Commander wie in
it's
jedem
just
anderen
his
Modus.
vehicle is the radio now.
Nur, dass der Panzer halt das Funkgerät ist.
As well, whether it be an SDKFC something or other.
Yes.
Okay. Another one I'm seeing a lot is, are we planning on updating to 4.21 UE4?
Wird die Unreal Engine aufgewertet, ist geplant,
massive task. It is not
ist aber eine massive
yet, so
Aufgabe und wird jetzt nicht mal eben passieren.
Yes, updating to 420 or 421, depending on what squad an off-roll is going for. It's going to take a lot of time. It's going to break a lot of things that we've made.
Wird viel Zeit brauchen, wird viel kaputt machen, wenn sie auf 4.2.1 aufwerten.
Here it is. Here's the new 4.21 version. It's going to be a massive task, but it's going to
be again the things like Fortnite and having, you know, all their network optimizations coming in that could be, you know, very useful to us. So
it's going to be very useful, but it's right now it's a ratio of pain versus gain.
BF 109 bekommen als Commander oder Spitfires, dann bringt das einen Scheiß. Und zu der Frage, ob gleich noch eine Runde normal gespielt wird, ja, wenn der TeaTime vorbei ist.
421 would be the next big step for us. Not in terms of content, but in terms of engine. So if you were to be in 421 right now, like instantly, you would not see a difference except in terms of optimization. The game will remain the same. So it's some sort of a bit of an update, because it's going to take us weeks, maybe months to get it done, and no one will see a difference but the FPS.
Yeah. Okay.
Also das Update auf 4.2.1 würde massiv lange dauern und würde zwar einen Performance Boost bringen, möglicherweise, aber wird halt sehr viel Zeit fressen.
Using the triple X core instead rather than the actual. I mean, I guess because we've seen the M4 Sherman now.
Yeah, but it was also operated by British tank crew.
Yeah, I think it's just people not quite.
No, if we were to have American tank crew, that would be for another theater, but Scriptum the Bloody Sevens is not going to see American tank crew because they weren't.
Dann kam eine Frage über die amerikanische Panzerbesatzung, ob sie da eigene Models für machen und nö.
Move on, and unless you have any other questions, we can take a question for a few more minutes, but maybe we can move on to the next thing, the Periscope game future, I would say, or the Scriptum future.
Yeah, let's move on to that section. I think obviously that's all up to you at this point. About when will people be able to get hands on Vegel and bayonets and the new bullet impulses?
Wann soll der neue Patch kommen?
And game mode, and you know, talk a little bit about. Well, not talk a little bit about, but mention the new faction, all that kind of stuff.
So what we're gonna do is do you guys in the dev team, do you have anything you want to add based on what we discussed before, or what's gonna what is going to change? If you have nothing to add, then I will move on to the near future, but feel free, guys, if you want to say anything to the community.
Nothing from me.
We need more testers.
We need more testers, okay. So if you guys are willing to help us with testing the game, feel free to get in touch with
Wenn ihr dem Dev-Team beim Testen helfen wollt?
Yeah, until we've got a better method. Me and the new community managers working on a new.
Dann kontaktiert den neuen Community Manager.
So if you want to be part of the testing community, test all the goods before it gets to public, hit Snazzy, or you can also contact Blitz on Discord and we will get you set up. So that will allow you to see bayonets, the new vehicles.
Da gibt's dann halt die Möglichkeit,
when we get there, you will also be able
als
to see the
Tester
new theater before everyone else.
Zugewiesen werden.
That's not marketing, I don't know what it is. Okay, so let's move on to the future. So when are you guys going to be able to play armored? When you're going to get Vegel? When you're
Wann kommt der neue Patch?
Bayonets, damage system, and so on. So we are going to split. You had to drive me over. So when we're going to do this in multiple update. So the first update we're gonna do is
Es werden mehrere Patches sein.
damage system,
Bajonette,
and Vegel.
Panzerschadensmodell und Wegel.
For the supporter first, like we always do.
Kommt für die Supporter
Thank you guys
zuerst.
for buying the most expensive version of PS. And
Als Dankeschön
so
dafür, dass man die teure Version gekauft hat.
This weekend, maybe next
Eventuell
week.
schon dieses
So we'll
Wochenende
be
oder
able to
nächstes.
play the 101st with the Vegel map for a few hours, maybe a few hours on Saturday,
Wie die
a few
anderen
hours
Tests
on Sunday. We'll try to
auch
make sure we
so
cover every time zone. So if you're in the US,
so
or
ein
if you're in
paar
Europe, you
Stunden
would have
zur
access
Verfügung.
to it without it being in the middle of your afternoon or in the middle of the night. As soon as we do that test, we will see how it goes. We will maybe
gucken sie, wie
notice
das Ganze
more
läuft.
bugs with the bayonets or more bugs with Vegel. We will try to fix them as quickly as possible. If we feel like we need another session of test, we will do another test
Und
session
wenn das
with you
Ganze gut
guys.
läuft, dann geht's halt
And then
live.
we
Wenn
will
nicht,
push Vegel,
dann
the
wird
bayonet,
weiter
and the
getestet.
damage system to everyone
Getestet,
for
bis sie dann
free
soweit
with the base
zufrieden sind.
game.
Und dann kommt's
So
gratis
that's the
raus.
first patch we're gonna do. Right after that patch, when this is done, complete and stable enough, we will release
Sobald das stabil
armored
läuft,
game mode. So it's going to be
kommt der
Drill,
Panzer-Only-Modus.
Oosterbeek and Hilsum with armored game mode.
Auf Driel,
There is no
Oosterbeek
armored
und
game mode on
Helsum.
Velmolen and
Noch
there is
nicht
no
auf
armored game mode.
Velmolen.
No, there is one on Doorwares actually. I'm wrong.
Und auf Dorwert.
There is no armored game mode on
Aber nicht auf
Just
Oster.
my mistake. So it's Hilsum,
Helsum,
Doorwares, and
Dorwert,
Driel. Who's
Driel
going to
bekommen
get armored,
Panzermodi,
and
nicht
maybe we'll do one
Oosterbeek.
on Vegel. I think Vegel could play pretty well. with
Eventuell
the tanks,
Vegel
I don't know,
noch.
like, what you think.
Aber das wird man sehen.
Say again, sorry.
I think Vegel would be a good map to play with the armored
Oh
game
yeah,
mode.
yeah. I think it would be pretty cool.
So we'll have armored for those 4 maps. We are not doing it for Oosterbeek and Velmolen because there is not much point. The maps are not designed.
Auf
with,
Oosterbeek und
tank-
Velmolen, die
Oh,
sind
a
nicht
crash, nice,
dafür
perfect.
designt für Panzer.
Okay, so I'm just going to go on our Discord here. I wasn't even doing anything. Anyway,
I didn't crash, so.
you didn't crash it. It's just me. Maybe it's it's way too finishing up. So I'm gonna just be here so you can see our Discord. So Vegel first to supporter, then we go public, then we armored for supporter, then we go public. So that will
Armored
be a
kommt auch erst
massive
für die
2
Supporter
updates
und
in
dann
the
geht's
next few
public.
weeks.
Das soll
As
in
soon
den
as we're
nächsten
done with
Wochen
this,
kommen.
we are already working on the new theater. I cannot tell you what it is, of course. But,
Die arbeiten schon am neuen Kriegsschauplatz, aber sie
we're
verraten
working
nicht,
on
was
it
es ist,
now.
aber
It's
sie
going
arbeiten
to
schon
be
dran.
2 new maps. One is
2 neue
3x3
Karten.
and the other one is going
Die eine
to
ist
be
3x3
3x3
Kilometer
as well.
und auch die andere auch.
Then what else are we going to do? We have multiple theaters actually being worked on at the moment.
Wir arbeiten an
That
mehreren
crash got me confused.
Kriegsschauplätzen.
I'm losing my words. So yeah, new theaters. We cannot tell you guys what it's going to be, but we're working on 2 new theaters, and we have up to 4 planned. So
Sie arbeiten
we are in for
momentan
the
an
long,
2,
for the long
aber
haul,
sie
as you can
haben
imagine.
insgesamt
It's
4
not
geplant.
just PS7. So what we were discussing internally with the dev the other day is what we want to do is possibly
Das wird er nicht verraten
the
wollen.
first chapter, and we want to do it in some sort of chapter approach.
Sie wollen das als Kapitel releasen.
Let's say we do a new theater and the map is ready or some content is ready, we're just going to push it to you guys, and we just want
Sobald
to
was
open
Neues fertig
multiple
ist,
chapters
hauen sie es
or
raus.
theaters based on how you want to call it. So that's pretty much everything with the future. Do we have any questions from the community?
Based on what we just said, rather than another Q&A. But I think most of it will be about the new faction, which we're probably not going to go into any more detail.
No, we can't tell you yet. But it's following it's on a good way. It's looking really good. It's, the first theater we're gonna do haven't been done in a game in a long time. That's what I said a few times on Discord. So people are wondering what it could be. We're gonna announce it in the next, I think, in 2 months, because we have.
In 2
one thing we didn't
Monaten
say is we
wollen
have
sie
our
verraten,
new
wann das neue
designer
Theater,
working on a
wo
new
das
map,
ist.
so you're gonna have a lot of content before the new theater is ready.
Mm-hmm. I've seen a couple of people have guessed right with the new faction, but it's not the majority.
It's not the majority. Yeah, I've seen a few people getting it right, but we can't say, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So what we said on Discord was the next theater is going to be not unknown. It's not unknown, but it's not popular in movies or in games. It's been done before, but not many times.
Der neue
And then the
Kriegsschauplatz
next two theater, those
ist
are
nicht so
extremely
bekannt,
famous. We can't say
beziehungsweise
which
ist
one
nicht
they
so
are.
in Film und Fernsehen
And
verwurstelt.
after those
Aber es wurde
two
schon gemacht.
famous, we also have another one that is
Und dann kommen
pretty
zwei,
big,
die
but not.
sehr bekannt sind und
It's-
beliebt sind.
It's
Und
not
dann,
easy to actually tease people without
Yeah, you just
telling.
end up saying it.
und dann kommt noch eins.
But yes, next theater is not
Ja,
that
neue
famous,
Nationen
but
und
it's
sowas.
going to be great gameplay, and the two following one are just going to be terrific.
One of the maps, at least for the new faction, the next one is looking really, really awesome. I've got some really cool stuff to show off with it. So.
Ja,
So
ich
I
hau
think
die
that's
Fragen raus. Also,
Pretty much everything for this tea time. We wish you guys a very happy new year for 2019. As you can imagine, we have a lot of work to get you, to get all those patches to you. But we've been very happy with how people were reacting to PS for the past 2-3 months. Things really changed.
wir sind sehr
and, the
dankbar,
perception
wünschen uns allen ein
and
schönes
we try- we are
2019
trying
und
to
sie
get
sind
closer
sehr,
to the
sehr, sehr
community.
beschäftigt.
Most of us are active daily on
Und sie
Discord,
sind sehr
as you can
aktiv
see
im
here on my
Discord.
screen. So no, I mean, for me, it's I just want to say a big thank you to the community.
Und
It's been
großes,
a
großes
blast.
Danke an die
Not always been
Community.
a blast. We had some rough times, but right now we're really feeling confident, and our game is very solid. And, we love
Yeah,
it.
so thanks to everyone for their feedback as well, especially after the US Airborne and Vermeulen update. 'Cause
Und
that
sie
really
sind sehr,
helped
sehr
us push
dankbar für das Feedback.
our sort of impressions and workflow towards creating future stuff, because we know what the right thing to do is and what, the
Gute
wrong thing
Nacht,
to do is.
Hauptmann, hau
So,
rein.
without your help, we wouldn't have come this
Haben die
far.
noch Arbeitsplätze frei?
So,
Musste
that's everything from me, I
musste die fragen.
Guys, you have anything else to say to our followers?
Just thank you for continuing to support us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, very much. And if you like the game, give us a thumb up on Steam, recommend it to your friends. That really, for an indie company like us, it makes a huge difference. And,
Wenn euch Scriptum
thanks for being
gefällt,
around,
bewertet
and
es auch auf
we'll
Steam.
try to make sure those
Daumen nach
two new
oben,
theaters
Empfehlungen
are
und so
going to be
weiter.
exactly what you want them to be.
Weil das gerade bei den kleinen
I think that's
Indie-Entwicklungen
everything.
massivst hilft.
So yeah.
Brilliant. So I'm going to play the video again, the video we played at the very beginning for those of you who missed it, and then we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
Yes,
Thanks,
thank
everyone.
you.
See you. Thanks.
So, und jetzt zeigen sie noch ein kurzes Video. Dann mache ich mal den Chat aus. Richtig, die neue Fraktion haben sie nichts zu gesagt und das war Absicht. Das waren keine Moskitos. Sehr geil. Sehr, sehr coole Infos. Jetzt wissen wir auf jeden Fall deutlich mehr. Oder waren das Moskitos? Ich glaube nicht, dass das Moskitos waren. Oder? Weiß es nicht, die sahen nicht aus wie Moskitos. Sekunde, ich google mal kurz. Bin ich neugierig. Moskito Planes. Doch, war ein Moskito. Mein Fehler. Wie hat's euch gefallen? Wie hat euch der Stream bis jetzt gefallen? Wir schmeißen gleich noch eine Runde richtiges Postscriptum an. Aber mal so für mich als Feedback, ob wir sowas dann halt häufiger mal machen können.